I think culture is such a great point to bring up. You have multiple entities with their own culture that are coming together, and you almost have to create a net new culture. Even just in my experience, when we had our last company acquired, when we first got acquired, there was like this need to like protect the old culture. But now you're part of this bigger entity, and you have to actually build a culture that's unique to the new entity more than like separate cultures that now you're being forced to become like the other company that's acquiring you. And I think people struggle with that. Meryl, how much time do you spend on the people side with culture and getting that right in terms of org design and some of the fundamental things that are in place inside of companies like core values and stuff like that?
The most important thing is remembering that that culture assessment happens over the span of you discussing an acquisition with the other party. So it starts right from the first phone call to understand how do you build that trust. It's not always right that the company getting acquired is the one that loses employees. If you find that the acquirer is being honest with themselves, saying like, let's truly assess both teams and see what looks best and who we need to hire and what are the gaps and what are the redundancies. It's important to be self-reflective. And so some of that is not really coachable. Like you can tell them to be mindful of it, but intrinsically it is part of that team's culture, whether they do that organically or not. And Krista works with a lot of teams to assess what does that org design look like. There's so many ways to cut it. So there's no real one answer fits all here. So there's no one way, hey, this is the right design, and this is the right organizational structure and reporting structure, to Corey's point. It is somewhat fluid, and it depends on you asking the question of like, what is it that I really need? Like, so if you don't understand the gaps yourself, whether you're the company being acquired or you're the acquirer, you can't have that intellectual curiosity to then fill the right roles.